Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to apologize to my husband in writing after I canceled all his family invitations to a Christmas celebration at our house? Too long didn't read is at the bottom, but we're going to read the whole thing. So, to give some context, I'm a 32-year-old female, and I've been married to my husband, a 39-year-old male, for 4 years. I work a full-time job while he does a 3-week-a-night shift. We have a 2-year-old, and I am 6 months pregnant. This whole drama started days ago. My husband has a large family, and on every Christmas, they'd gather at his father's house. My father-in-law passed away a year ago. This year, my husband decided that as the man of the family, he needed to host Christmas at our house. Unbeknownst to me, he sent out invitations for a 5-day Christmas celebration to his entire family, which are about 26 members. I found out by total accident, and I was too shocked to react in the moment. I confronted him on it, and he said I shouldn't be surprised and just get used to it because after his father's death, he is now the family's head, and all major family events will be held in our house in his presence. I freaked out and said, no, this is wrong, and he should have talked to me first before sending out any invitations to his family, knowing that I have other commitments like work and taking care of the house and our son. He said we'll manage, but if I took time off from work, that would mean more workload later, and it would take away from my maternity leave. I demanded that he cancel the invitations, but he refused, saying that over my dead body, and then walked out. I ended up sending a mass text to everyone who received an invitation explaining that we will not be hosting Christmas this year. He found out and went off on me, calling my behavior outrageously appalling, and said that I broke his word to his family and made him look small with no authority. I, in a very strict tone, replied that I didn't sign up to host a celebration and accommodate 26 people while pregnant, taking care of a toddler, and working. And I don't care if he becomes the head of family after his father's death because it means nothing to me. He took offense to that and walked out almost crying. He later talked about how I disrespected his father and him with what I said and demanded a handwritten apology for canceling the event and being insensitive towards him and undermining his authority in front of his family. But I said no apology from me in any form, and the issue is still up, especially with my mother-in-law giving me a stern talk about how I was out of line for disrespecting my husband's decision regarding the holiday celebration with my family. Edited to add, to put this out there, he planned on sitting and telling stories of his dad while I handled everything, and his family believed that as a guest, it's rude to ask for help. Wow. 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 All right. So folks, I'm gonna venture a question here. Because I'm a little how shall I say, uncertain of whether or not OP is a jerk in this situation. So I'm curious, what do you think? Is OP the jerk here or not?
A million times not the jerk.
Amber's like, wait, there's no uncertainty here. This is a trap. It is a trap. I do believe that OP is not the jerk in this situation. And her husband is probably the jerk in this situation. And by probably, I mean her husband's the jerk in this situation. I mean, what in the world? What were you gonna say, Amber?
I was going to say, who signs their partner up to cook dinner for 26 people on their own?
You consult your partner about these kinds of things. You don't just drop this on them and expect them to be okay with it. Like, this wasn't a discussion that they've had, like, going before they got married or anything like that. There wasn't ever any kind of like, oh, hey, by the way, when someday if my father passes away, I would really like to host the family and events and stuff like that. If you're going to sign up for a commitment like that, you need to make sure that the other person is okay with that. And I mean, certainly he sounds like he's still grieving to some degree, but this is just completely like unacceptable. It's really just gross in a lot of ways. And the fact that his mom is like, well, you need to just do this. I don't know. This sounds very authoritarian. I don't like it at all. And I don't really like what the family is doing and the implication here that OP should be like, self-sacrificing for her husband and every avenue here. I mean, I think that that's like, sure, there are reasonable things that you make and reasonable sacrifices you make in a relationship, but I think this just goes well above and beyond if that's not something you're into. There are some people who love throwing parties and love hosting, and hopefully OP's mother was the individual who loved throwing parties and loved hosting. But I question, like, if this was the case, then why wouldn't she still want to throw parties and host? So I have a feeling that she potentially was just doing the party hosting because she thought that that's what she had to do. I don't know. I really don't have the details any more than anyone else does out there, but I do think that OP is certainly not in the wrong for not wanting to host a party for 26 people while 6 months pregnant. On top of that, like, there's no even like additional qualifiers needed. Like, if you're not into hosting a party for 26 people, that's reason enough. But being pregnant and having to work and all this other stuff, that just kind of adds an extra layer of icing to this very, very terrible cake. So let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. Is he delusional? A written apology? What are you, his servant? Oh my goodness, that is repulsive. The fact to saying that she made him feel small with no authority shines light on how he sees their relationship dynamic. Exactly. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Quitting Without Notice Over Fake Job Postings? As of yesterday, I, a 31-year-old female, was the marketing coordinator for a real estate agent. Let's call him John. He's a 39-year-old male. He's very successful and recently hired a life coach who gave him weekly goals. Some of them are normal, like read this book on the cycle nature of the real estate market, but other times they're real bad, like Coach says I should take Friday off because sitting is the new smoking. Not the best behavior, but harmless enough. However, John's most recent goal caught me totally by surprise. Last week, John said that his coach wanted him to develop his leadership skills. I asked what that entailed, and he gave me a new task. Advertise fake job postings. One for every position on the team. John said that he wanted 30 plus resumes per day and he'd interview the good ones. I can't overemphasize this enough. There are no job openings on our team. John's coach apparently thinks interviewing real people for fake jobs will make John a better leader. If someone can connect those dots for me, please do, because I don't get it. OP, that makes probably many, many more than just two of us.
Yeah.
I asked John if he was serious and pointed out that people are desperate for work right now. His response, Coach says real leaders are always looking for new talent. Reason 1, why I might be the jerk. I couldn't refuse a direct request without getting fired, so I made the job postings. But I didn't list the compensation in hopes that people would see the red flags. We got hundreds of resumes, and John interviewed dozens of people. I listened in, and they sounded like real interviews. At no point did John mention we are not currently hiring. One of the interviewees was a young woman who chatted with me while she was waiting, and she said that she's a single mother who had to get a last-minute babysitter so she could make the interview. So not only is she not getting hired for this job, it cost her money to show up. Another was an older man, and when I walked him out, he asked, "Do you think a fossil like me has any shot?" I almost burst into tears, but fury won out and I told him, there is no job. I'm sorry they lied to you. This company thinks nothing of wasting your time. He looked shocked and walked away. Someone must have heard me because I got called into John's office where he proceeded to yell at me, like a great leader does. Apparently, he's fine with lying to people's faces, but with not people knowing about it. He threatened to fire me, and I said, do it, because I can't go along with this. You're getting people's hopes up for no reason. John argued that the jobs could be real in the future, and it was helping him lead the team, so that made it okay. Reason 2 why I might be the jerk. I quit on the spot, no notice. I have a second job, so I'll be okay, but John said to forget about a reference. I've never not given notice before, and I feel bad about that, but I just know that John would make me keep bringing him resumes until my last days. or last day, not last days. There's a pretty big implication between the two of those statements. But okay, here's the thing. John is delusional if he thinks this is going to make him a better leader. Leaders don't sit around interviewing people all day to glean out how to be a better leader. Leaders roll up their sleeves, they get the job done, and they toe the line. They inspire their workers, they do what's needed to be done to get the job done. Leading people on is the anti-leader quality. This is literally anti-leadership at its finest. This is the kind of bureaucratic nonsense that rots an organization from the inside. So if John is out there listening somewhere, which I know you are, John, then stop it. You're a moron. Don't do this. I mean, this is just absolutely ludicrous that an employer would think that this is acceptable behavior. And honestly, OP, the only thing I can fault you for is refusing to do this so that he would fire you. Just, you should have had him fire you, and then that way it could have been completely off your conscience. That's the only thing I would have done differently. I would have just told John to stuff it. Really. I would have said, well, if you want to prove that you're a good leader, then you need to inspire people, not, lead people on. And he probably wouldn't have liked that very much. But OP in this case was fine no matter what. So I really feel like they the only thing that they could really be faulted for here was putting up the fake job listings and just refusing to do it. Just because your boss wants you to do something unethical doesn't mean that you should do something unethical. I mean, that's the problem. It's like you have to stand up to your employer when they demand unethical things. And that's hard because, you always, people, we like to be communal. We like to be people-pleasing type of situations. But sometimes you just have to draw a line and say, no, I'm not going to do this. So that's the only thing I could fault OP for here. So let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, but report him to the board or some agent. This sounds highly illegal or immoral to say the least. John is using his power to steamroll hundreds of people. Ew. And OP replies, I have no idea if what John is doing is legal, but it shouldn't be in my opinion. It should be considered false advertising. I agree. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for putting up my Christmas lights early even though the HOA that I'm not a part of says it violates the rules and upsets the people in the HOA? Alright folks, I don't even know if I actually have to read this one. Maybe I will. No, I'll read it for you. But no, OP, no. Why do these HOA ones pop up like all the time? Why do HOAs think that they rule the universe? Stop it, HOAs. Stop it. Bad HOA. I had a previous experience with this group as I live in a neighborhood that has an HOA, but I was there before the rest of the houses were built and before they formed this group. I'm not a member in any way, and that has been verified by my real estate attorney. So anyways, apparently they have this rule on how many lights you can put up and what's the earliest date you can put them up. The woman who I deal with most of the time when I upset them came by on 11:30 and told me that my lights were against the policy and that I was not allowed to have that many lights up. I told her that we've been over this before and that I am in no way beholden to their policies and I don't care. I told her that out of respect to the people in the neighborhood, I did like that I wasn't going to go full Clark Griswold on my house, but that my nephews and nieces love the lights, so I would be putting up a fair amount. I also told her that I didn't care about the rules, that the lights could only be on during certain hours, and that once we're done putting them up on the 30th, I would likely turn them on and leave them on until Christmas. Bah humbug, OP. She told me that breaking the rules upsets the other members and that I should respect their rules. Respect my authority. Even if I don't follow them because I technically live in the neighborhood. She offered me a flyer which apparently had their rules for lights on them. I tossed it in the trash and told her to get off my property. I probably could have entertained some of what she asked, but I've had enough of them. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
Why? I mean, again, like we've been over this how many times on this channel? HOAs, they're one of my favorite things to pick at because they're not like a person. Like there are like these people in HOAs who enforce these rules, but the thing is this: it's really easy for me to be like, "Oh yeah, this HOA is bad." it's a evil machine that is forcing people to do stupid, trying to force people who aren't even part of it to do stuff. So no, OP, you're not the jerk in this situation. You've told them time and time again that you're not going to follow the rules. Why are they pestering you? Tell them to stop. Stop it, Stop it, HOA, not OP. You can keep putting your lights on. No, just no. I'm so tired of unhappy people trying to ruin Christmas for others. Go Griswold, my dude. Advertise it. I guarantee you will bring way more cheer and happiness than you will upset people. Your neighbors probably love the lights too. Tell them that every time they complain, you'll put up another strand of lights. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Yelling at My Obsessed Wife? Hello there. I'm currently typing this from my car after my wife has told me that she doesn't want me near her right now, hoping this thread will be a wake-up call to her. My wife is a 33-year-old female and she's a big nerd, which I normally appreciate, but she is taking things way too far today. She took today off work so she could be up at 4 a.m. to play her online game at lunch. I didn't wake up until about an hour ago, 10:30, and she was still playing. I mentioned that I was hungry and hoping that we could make breakfast together, which we like to do together. She insisted that I should order us something from DoorDash, that she was in the middle of a dungeon and maybe a while. I didn't really want to get takeout because we already discussed ordering pizza tonight for dinner. And that's a lot of takeout food in one day. I calmly explained this and she got mad and shrieked at me that she just wanted one weekend to focus on her video game. I said that was unfair to our family for her to isolate herself all weekend. And she got even more mad, telling me that I have 2 hands and can feed the cat myself. I was in tears at this point, and I did raise my voice and said that I was worried that she was obsessed with this game and maybe she needed some professional help. She threw her car keys at me and said that I need to get out of her face and that she works all the time and doesn't ask for much, and that I need to leave her be and get out of her face for a few hours. I am truly concerned that she's become obsessed with this online game after one day. And I'm hoping that maybe reading this thread will wake her up to it. But I might have been the jerk too. Edit some additional info I forgot. It isn't just today. For the last few weeks, she's been hyping herself up for this game. When the game got delayed, she moved her vacation time rather than just keep the previous day off to spend it with me. She's been absolutely freaking out about the game, and I don't understand it, and it scares me. Alright, folks. What do you think about this situation?
Jerk.
So yeah, I think OP is very misguided in this situation. He has this belief that she's obsessed with this video game, and he's upset that she won't feed him or the cat, and that she wants to take a day off just to kind of like slum around. And it's not like he hasn't had weeks to prepare for this day. Like, he's known for weeks that she wanted a day off to just sit and play this video game. And while I understand he's concerned that she's obsessed, it doesn't sound like she's like obsessed to the point where she can't do her job, where she's unable to do her other things around the house. I mean, she just wanted this one day to play her video game, and it sounds like he won't give her the time or space to do that. And honestly, I can't blame her for being upset. He also had time to prepare. He knew that she was going to play this video game. She took the time off. She moved her time off. And I think that those are all signs that she was really serious about playing this video game. And the reason why she wanted to take a whole day off to play it was probably because she wanted the time. I mean, who's to say whether or not something's worth someone's time, right? And when to become concerned, OP? Well, I mean, if the weekend ends and she has to go back to work and she continues to play the video game instead of going to work, or she starts letting her work responsibilities fall by the wayside, or her family responsibilities, and then yeah, maybe those it's time to seek professional help. But it doesn't sound like it's at that point. It sounds like she's just really interested and really enthusiastic towards this one video game that she's been looking forward to for a very long time, and I can't blame her. So yeah, I mean, I think that OP is probably a little bit of a jerk in this situation. Dude, she isn't obsessed with a game. A lot of people wake up early and stay up late for launches of games. It's not unusual. It sounds like you're just mad that she's not cooking for you and that you have to feed yourself and the cat. When you mention you like to make breakfast together, how much do you do in that? I also call BS on the calmly explained and she freaked out and went hysterical portion of this. Chances are you whined about it and she got annoyed. And do you have kids? Because if you don't, it's just you and the cat. Then how is she playing the game for a few hours unfair? If she works all the time and this is her way to unwind, let her. She's not hurting anyone, and you're a grown adult capable of taking care of and entertaining yourself. I also see that she said that the dungeon might take a few hours, not 2 to 3 days. You didn't want this thread to wake her up. You wanted some validation from strangers online about your whining. You're the jerk. OP clarified in the responses to one of my comments that the family is just the couple and their cat. And I can guarantee that the cat would prefer DoorDash and video games over whatever histrionics and pancakes OP had planned. OP has some serious stones, assuming the cat was on his side. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.